We have a colleague in the Senate that actually did much more sinister and serious kinds of things. Senator Menendez, he needs to go. And if you are going to expel Santos, how can you allow to somebody like Menendez to remain in the Senate?
Freshman Democratic Senator John Fetterman has some pretty strong views on corruption in Congress, particularly when it comes to one of his Democratic colleagues in the United States Senate. He's specifically talking about Bob Menendez here, who is caught up in yet another corruption scandal, a separate corruption scandal from the one that he was dealing with years ago. And so let's hear Fetterman make his case against Menendez.
Santos's kind of lies were almost, funny, and like, he, landed on the moon and that kind of stuff. Whereas, I think, Menendez, I think, is really a senator for Egypt, not New Jersey. So I really think he needs to go, and especially it's kind of strange that if Santos is not allowed to remain in the House, someone like that. Yeah.
Are you though uncomfortable with the fact that there hasn't been an adjudication, that while he's been charged, there hasn't been a conviction? With Menendez.
I am, and it's like he has the right for his day in court and all that, but he doesn't have the right to have those kind of votes and things that that's not a right, and I think we need to make that kind of decision to send him out.
Fetterman calling out Bob Menendez as the senator from Egypt, which is rich, considering some of the reporting involving John Fetterman and why he's been an unwavering supporter of Israel. I will get to the details on that in a moment, and it's really important to know the behind the scenes details to really understand why John Fetterman has been such a committed supporter of Israel, especially during this ongoing war in Gaza. But a quick refresher on Bob Menendez, okay, because he is caught up in this corruption scandal. It has not been adjudicated yet, but he is facing charges as a result. Now, he took bribes from many people, illegal bribes that ended up like enriching himself. They weren't bribes that helped his campaign, so that's why it's considered illegal. He took illegal bribes from a New Jersey businessman named Fred Daibes. Daibes allegedly bribed him with gold bars to get Menendez to intervene and influence the New Jersey US Attorney's Office, which in 2018 was investigating Daibes in relation to a separate crime of bank fraud. And by the way, it appears Menendez did get involved. So he took the bribe and tried to influence that investigation. And guess what? The latest update to that is that the gold bars have now been traced back to Daibes, because he was actually a victim of a robbery back in 2013 in which the robbers stole his gold bars. As NBC News reports, it was November 2013 when Daibes, a millionaire developer, told police that he had been the victim of a gunpoint robbery in his penthouse apartment in Edgewater. He said he was tied to a chair as the thieves made off with cash, gold, and jewelry. The 4 suspects were quickly caught and later pleaded guilty. Daibes attended court proceedings as the victim. On December 13th, 2013, Daibes signed documents to get his property, including the gold bars, back, okay? Now keep in mind that the gold bars have serial numbers on them. And those are the same gold bars that were found in Menendez's home when authorities raided it as a result of this ongoing investigation into illegal corruption. Now, Menendez had denied taking payoffs from Daibes, even though prosecutors allege testing shows Daibes' fingerprints and DNA are on some of the tens of thousands of dollars in cash found in Menendez's home. But in a statement about the ties of the gold bars found at his home to a decade-old robbery, counsel for Menendez said he, quote, will not be commenting on anonymous media leaks designed to prejudice his right to a fair trial. He looks forward to addressing the government's claims in court based on a complete record of the evidence. But we should also talk about how Menendez is tied up in an illegal corruption scandal involving Egypt. And that is what Fetterman was alluding to. So Jake, did you want to jump in, or you want me to give those details?
Yeah, just real quick. Look, I appreciate Fetterman calling out Menendez. I appreciate any Democrat who's actually going against one of their beloved colleagues, which they don't often do, very, very rarely do. And so the fact that he's breaking that precedent is positive. And Chuck Schumer said we got Menendez to step down from the chair of the Foreign Relations Committee temporarily until he resolves this matter, right? Because he stepped down as chair before, stayed on the committee, even though he clearly seems to be taking bribes from Egypt. And then he resumed the chairmanship after he got past his last corruption charges. So this guy is deeply, deeply corrupt and has been for a long time. And even at this late date, most Democrats aren't calling him out. So I like that Fetterman's doing it. But boy, does he not have a leg to stand on when it comes to his relationship to Israel, but we'll get to that in a second, as Anna.
Yeah, so the final thing I'll say about Menendez, and look, to be fair, Fetterman is right about Menendez. So one of the other illegal bribes that Menendez allegedly took was from a businessman in Egypt by the name of Wael Hana. Now, Menendez used his position as chair of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee to help him win an executive halal meat inspection contract with the Egyptian government. And the FBI also said that in exchange for bribes, Menendez tried to assist the government of Egypt with arms sales. So that is what Fetterman was alluding to. He does have a leg to stand on in regard to these criticisms because it appears that these criticisms are based in reality. They're based in facts and they're based on evidence that has been coming out of this investigation. However, he is salty toward Menendez because he claims that Menendez is serving Egypt as opposed to the American people. Well, let's also consider the fact that Fetterman seems to have made a deal with a pro-Israel group here in the United States known as the Democratic Majority for Israel. And it was a deal to ensure that the pro-Israel lobby would stay out of his senatorial race. So let me give you the details on that. As reported by Ryan Grimm in The Intercept, John Fetterman was locked in what threatened to be a tight primary race with Representative Connor Lamb for a Senate nomination. And Lamb's campaign was openly pleading for super PAC support to put him over the top. Now, Democratic Majority for Israel's president, Mark Mellman, had reached out to Fetterman with questions about his position on Israel. He's never come out and said that he's not a supporter of Israel, but the perception is that he aligns with the squad more than anything else. Democratic activist Brett Goldman told the Jewish Chronicle. And by the way, you should read the entirety of the Jewish Chronicle's piece on this as well. Mellman said that Fetterman's campaign responded to his inquiry and came with an interest in learning about the issues. Following the meeting, the campaign reached out again. Then they sent us a position paper, which we thought was very strong, Mellman said, but it wasn't quite strong enough. Jewish Insider reported that DMFI emailed back some comments on the paper, which Fetterman was receptive to addressing in a second draft. So basically, he puts out his statement in support of Israel. He shows the Democratic Majority for Israel what that statement is. They're like, yeah, this is strong, this is good, let's make it stronger. So they basically edit it on his behalf. He accepts it. And so later Fetterman says, I want to go out of my way to make sure that it's absolutely clear that the views that I hold in no way go along with the lines of some of the more fringe or extreme wings of our party. I would also respectfully say that I am not really a progressive in that sense.
Wow, thanks for letting us know.
That is amazing. And then finally, Fetterman, unprompted, stressed that there should be zero conditions on military aid to Israel, that BDS was wrong, that's the boycott divestment movement to hold Israel accountable and so on. Quote, let me just say this, even if I'm asked or not, I was dismayed by the Iron Dome vote, he added. DMFI and AIPAC stayed out of his race. That was the deal.
Okay, guys, how is this not just open corruption? So they say, we're Democratic Majority for Israel. They're not unclear about it. We are hoping that an American government helps another country, a foreign country. By the way, the other countries are so dumb for not doing this. You could do Democratic Majority for Turkey or Greece or Iran or wherever you like.
Well, talk to Henry Cuellar. A lot of foreign governments do this.
Yeah, Azerbaijan apparently did it with Cuellar.
Right.
So then you know what? But those knuckleheads did it illegally. Do Democratic Majority for Azerbaijan, and then there's in every ethnic group there are plenty of super rich Americans, right? Turkish Americans, Azerbaijani Americans, Persian Americans, etc. And then you collect your money and you say, now, hey, you senator, I'm going to spend millions of dollars in making sure that you don't win. Or you have to give me a loyalty pledge to another country. That's literally what they're doing. Literally what they're doing, right? So you can just buy any senator you like. You just go up to them and you do this thing. And if they don't listen to you, you say, that's it, Azerbaijan is now going to spend 4 million, 10 million, 20 million against you. Otherwise, and by the way, then that reverberates and affects all of the other politicians. Because remember, they didn't actually spend any money against Fetterman. They spent money against Nina Turner and Summer Lee and other progressives. That's what forced Fetterman to go, oh, I'm so sorry, I'll work for Israel. I'll do anything for Israel. Even if unprompted, if nobody asked me, I'll just go around and wave an Israeli flag, which he did, by the way, as they were murdering people in Gaza. And I'll do anything for Israel. I'm a populist progressive, I wear sweatshirts. Come on, man. Come on, the senator from Egypt over there. You're right about the senator from Egypt, but you're the senator from Israel, and you admitted it. You said, I'll do anything for you. I serve a foreign country and not America.
Just stay out of my race, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, so this is how they buy politicians. Now, they're hurting the cause of, look, I'm gonna say it, I don't care what anybody says. They're hurting the cause of Jewish Americans. Because then people go, oh, look at that, it's Israel that's controlling me. Any country can do this. It has nothing to do with being Jewish. But you think you're gonna stop people having anti-Semitic stereotypes while you openly, brazenly buy United States politicians? The reality is the Saudis do it, Qatar does it, they do it through think tanks, they do it through super PACs. So Muslims do it, Jews do it, Christians do it, etc. But they do it so flagrantly that it invites these stereotypes, which is so damaging for Jewish Americans.
Which is why the whole system needs to be reformed so no foreign country can do it.
Obviously, this isn't about Israel at all. This is about what's wrong with the American system, where we allow open bribery. And then now countries are holding auctions for our different politicians. Oh, that's the senator from Egypt. Oh, that's the senator from Israel. Can I hear somebody from the senator from Qatar, senator from Botswana, going once, going twice? Who would like to buy this senator? And that's the current American system now. It's disgusting, and it has turned America, unfortunately, into the most corrupt country on earth because we legalized bribery.
Thanks for watching. If you become a member, you get to watch all this ad-free, except for, of course, this ad. Still, hit the join button below.